Hey y'all, here to vlog about Mob Wives Season 3, episode, what is this, 5 or 6? Whatever. Let's get to it. Alright, so the show starts off with Ramona, Karen, and Big Ange meeting up. And Ramona tells them that she's having a party for her two girls. They're turning 12 and 13. I think their names are Anissa, what's the other one's name? Anissa and God, what is the other girl's name? Is it Melina? I can't remember. But she's having a party for her two oldest girls, and the girls asked if Aaliyah, who's Drita's daughter, can come. Now we all know from the past, well, from last season, Drita and Ramona don't get along. So Ramona basically had to put on her big girl boots, suck it up, and call Drita. But Big Ann just like, go ahead, like squash this beef. It shouldn't even be beef going on, let it go. And Karen is just like, wow, like, okay, well, call Drita. I mean, Karen was a little iffy about it too. So, Karen was like, the last time we were in a room together at a party, we tried to kill each other. Karen was like, of course, great. Invite her daughter to a party, perfect. So we get into a fight again, basically like that. Like, she was skeptical. But Ramona was like, well, I don't think, I'm sorry. Ramona was like, I don't think there's going to be any real drama. I'm just going to invite her, see how it goes. And if it goes left, then that's just that. So the next scene, we go to Renee in Florida at her at rehab, and she's discussing that she has so much anger issues. And the person running the session is like, who doesn't have anger issues? Everybody has anger issues. Everything triggers anger. Like, that's the number one emotion when you're in rehab. Everybody's angry. So some other girl in her group says something about, like, you're always angry. It's like always, like, it's always anger within a group or whatever. And Renee is like, I guess the specific person who said it triggered something in her. And she's like, you know what? She said females are catty or whatever. And she said something like she said the girl was talking about her in the group. That's a whole nother subject, I guess, because this is my first time hearing about it. But I guess in rehab, the girl was talking about her, and Renee was like, well, you don't know nothing about me to talk about me, so my name shouldn't come out your mouth, blah, blah, blah. And the girl's looking at her like, what the hell? And I'm kind of looking at the screen like, Renee, what's wrong with you? But I guess VH1 and they editing, because I'm so confused. But anyway, the next scene we go to is Big Ange, and she's talking about her husband Neil, and how, like it was said the last couple of episodes, she kicked him out because when she had to go to surgery, he just left her there. He didn't stay with her, he didn't check on her, he didn't do anything. He just left her there. So, Neil came back there apologetic, and he's like, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. And she's like, okay, why don't you run the bar or whatever, or certain nights? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, Big Ange, he love you. Just give him another chance. He love you. Because, I mean, even though, Big Ange claims that he's not a good man, I think Neil is cool. Like, he definitely loves him some Big Ange. Definitely. So, then we go to Karen. And she's in a studio with this producer named Storm. And she's talking about investing in the studio for her daughter Karina. And she's like, even though Karina might not want to move to New York, Karina will have something like a hobby, something that she wants to do when she does come to New York. She'll look forward to something to come to New York. Because yeah, it does seem like the whole entire time Karen is in New York, she's pursuing her goal. But it's like, when your daughter comes there, what is your daughter doing? So it makes sense. And she said that her daughter likes to sing, so she wanted to do the whole invest in the studio for her daughter. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's cool. And if your daughter could sing, why not? And I'm like, that's a perfect gift, especially if you want it to be a hobby. That's a good hobby to have. Keep kids out of trouble and help them express themselves. Good thing. So she invested in the studio, and everything worked out how she wanted to. So the next scene we go to is Ramona and Drita hashing out their issues, discussing what's going on. And I'm glad that they hashed out their problems. And Ramona is like, well, Ramona didn't really understand why Drita came at her and Karen at the party. But I mean, I understood why watching the fight last season, because it's like two of y'all coming in her face. That looked like a setup. So as soon as she saw y'all coming, her guard was all the way up, and her defense was to like pounce. Whose wouldn't it be? Like, especially if you know people that's your enemy, I guess, especially in that lifestyle, people that you know is your enemy, and it's only one of you and like dozens of them, you gonna build that wall up. So I mean, I get where Drita was coming from. But her and Ramona sat and discussed it, and they agreed to let bygones be bygones, and Drita agreed to let Aaliyah come to the party. And I thought that was really, really nice. And the one thing I loved about it is that, well, one thing I'm loving about this season is that everybody is about positivity. Like, I think that's what they be trying to go for in these shows, and it just be an absolute fail. But I'll discuss that a little bit later. So, we go to Carla and Drita, and they're in a fitness place, exercising and whatnot. And Drita's telling Carla, oh, I met up with Ramona, and we actually, worked out our issues or whatever. And Carla's like, really? Yeah. She's like, yeah, just to think, this was somebody I was calling Lucifer last year. And I'm like, yeah, because you was calling her Lucifer. So, Carla is still on guard when it comes to Ramona and Karen. But, Drita is like, well, it's no big deal. Like, we're not completely 100% friends. I don't all the way trust her, but who says we can't be cordial? And I'm like, yeah, that's mature as hell, being cordial. Y'all don't even have to be best friends. Y'all could just be cordial, just as long as y'all can be in the same room. Like, y'all can coexist. So then we go to Joe and Carla. And Joe comes to Carla, and he's telling Carla that he wants a divorce. And, Carla's basically feeling like, well, you rushing into this divorce because you want to marry your girlfriend. And, Joe is basically like, but if I was to bring this up to you, how angry you would be about it. He's like, why don't you just admit that you more volatile than I am? And, Carla's like, well, yeah, I'm going to be this way because when we were married, it didn't work out. You cheated on me. You went to jail. I was by myself for 6 years with 2 kids. So she was like, well, the best thing I could say to Raquel is good luck to you. I hope you know what you're getting into. And I'm like, yeah. Because I think it could have worked between Carla and Joe. But Joe ruined that. He ruined it by, not being faithful and by going to prison. So we'll just see. He seems to really love Raquel, but at the same time, I don't like Raquel. I don't like her because it seems like she wants to step in and play mommy. But I know Carla ain't having that. So the next part we get to is Big Ange coming to the Drunken Monkey and checking on it because she said when she's gone during the day, there's a lot of issues that goes on when she's not there. So she makes it a point to show up, daily, well, pop up at random times to see how the Drunken Monkey is doing. So when she got there, one of the machines was acting up. But also while she's there, these 2 guys are arguing. Clearly they're drunk. If they're not drunk, then they like a little buzzed or whatever. But it looked like it was early ass in the day. And they were drunk as hell, acting stupid. So Big Ange, tried to, you know, stop the situation. And she went outside and she saw that Neil pulled up. So she said, Neil, you gotta come in here and help me. Neil came in there and he was he was Superman, basically. He came in there, he got real manly, and he's like, yo, chill, chill. He broke up the fight, damn near beat the shit out of the dude. It was hilarious. But, Big Ange was like, well, he scored some cool points with me. I'm like, Big Ange, stop. Stop punishing that man. You know you love that man. And that man love you. So stop acting stank with your hubby hub. That's your man. So afterwards, we go to the birthday party. And at the birthday party, it was a cute birthday party. Like, she had a lot of kids there. She had like a nice cute little red carpet sitting outside or whatever. So the girls walked in and, everybody said happy birthday. And then Drita came in with Aaliyah. And, the girls came together. Like, it wasn't bad. Karen and Drita actually, hugged each other, said hi. Everybody said hi and it was cool. And I'm like, y'all are maturing. And, this is like one of the things that I like about this episode of Mob Wives, going back to what I said earlier, is the fact that I honestly think that these ladies on all of these Mob Wives, Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop, I think the ladies on these shows be trying to tell their side of the story and come together as a group, but it never goes that way for the simple fact that the drama overshadows the good that comes out of the show. Like with Mob Wives. Mob Wives is supposed to be a show about women in the mob lifestyle coming together, working together, supporting each other. Same with Basketball Wives. Basketball Wives is about women who have the fact that they either are in or were in relationship with basketball players and they're coming together for support. But it's like, the drama always overshadows. It's always a fight and argue or whatever. And I mean, it's entertainment. Who doesn't love a good fight? And if that's not entertainment, damn it, I don't know what is. But one thing I loved about this episode is the fact that this episode showcased that these ladies are mothers first and everything else comes second. Because each of their kids were having fun, enjoying themselves. Ramona's two girls enjoyed their party. She surprised them with a puppy in the end, which I thought was so sweet. Drita, they were all laughing. Like, this episode, I really liked this episode. I really love this. This was a different style from the ladies. Instead of them being all rough and rugged and you want to go to war with me and I'll kill you, bitch, and blah blah blah. All of that went out the window. And these were ladies that I saw. They weren't rough and rugged. They were mothers. And they were soft. And they were maternal. And I loved it. So I hope we get more episodes like this. Because I love this episode. So after the party, Carla and Big Ange are discussing the problem that Big Ange had with the rowdy customers. As well as the divorce talk. Carla saying that Joe wanted a divorce, and she said that she thinks that Joe wants a divorce because he wants to hurry up and marry Raquel. So, Carla's basically like, you know what, he wants a divorce. I should just sign the papers and move on with my life because clearly he's trying to do that. So Big Ange is like, yeah, just move on. Like, it shouldn't even, just move on. Don't have any drama. And, Big Ange is all about no drama, which is why I love her. So the next scene is, Karen along with Karina's cousin, and I hope I'm saying this girl name right. I think her name is Melina. If not, correct me please, but I'ma say Melina. I think her name is Melina. So they're in the studio, and Karen surprised Karina and told her I invested in this for you. This is for you to come to. She's showing them different areas in the studio. She said, that's my area for when y'all get on my nerves. I can go have a drink, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you are a mess. So the girls got in the studio and they're singing. And Karen also hired a vocal coach to, help them with their voice. Now, I mean, I know this is their first time in the studio or whatever. To me, it seemed like the vocal coach was going in. Like, yeah, you're a vocal coach, but this is only the first session. It's not even a session. It's just like a little, dry run. I don't think they were ready to record anything that day. He was going hard on them. And they sitting there looking at him like, dude, relax. And I'm like, yeah, relax. But they sounded cute together. Sidebar. Karina's cousin, why she look like Nicki Minaj? Like, she had the whole bang thing going on. Like, Nicki Minaj circa, 2009, 2010, when Nicki Minaj had the black hair and, like, the pink tips or whatever. Was it just me who noticed that? But she looked like Nicki Minaj. But anyway. So, now we get to Ramona meeting up with her lawyer. And she has her youngest daughter, Gianna, with her. So she's speaking to the lawyer, and she's asking the lawyer what's going on with her boyfriend or whatever with the situation, because last year he got arrested, and she said the cops came and they confiscated her jewelry and everything. And she said she revealed to us that her boyfriend is actually her fiance. That he proposed to her, and the only people that knew he proposed to her was her kids. She didn't even tell Karen, and Karen is supposed to be her best friend. But I mean, I understand why. I get it. And she said that, she has the ring that he proposed to her with, but she's afraid to wear it. Like, she's afraid something's gonna happen. And the lawyer's like, well, don't worry about any of that. Like, don't worry about it. She's like, well, it's a beautiful ring. I will start wearing it. I've just been afraid to. And I'm like, girl, you better wear that ring. You probably got a gold mine on that finger. You better wear that ring. Wear it proud, girl. So we then get to the last part of the episode where everybody's worried about Hurricane Sandy. Renee is calling Drita to find out that everything is okay, because I guess, she heard about Hurricane Sandy and she's calling to find out if everything is okay. And Drita is like, well, we live in Zone A. That means we have to evacuate. But I am like so worried that if I leave my house and we come back, we won't have a home to come back to. And, it flips back and forth between Drita and Renee on the phone and Big Ange and Ramona, and they're living in Big Ange's living room, and they're discussing Hurricane Sandy as well. And Big Ange is like, oh my God, this is so terrifying. I think it's the end of the world. So everybody is in their house or leaving their house or whatever. Well, Karen is leaving her house to evacuate. Carla's in the house with her kids. And, Drita is just on the phone with Renee discussing Hurricane Sandy. So then they started showing footage of Sandy from like the beginning to the middle to the end, and everything y'all saw in them clips really happened. Sandy tore up Staten Island, parts of New York, New Jersey, and a lot of them places. Here it is, almost 4 months later, and a lot of them places still are not fixed up. They still not, rebuilt. So I mean, this is, the next episode is going to be a pretty depressing episode because it's the aftermath of the hurricane. But like I said in like my earlier vlogs, nobody knows how serious that hurricane was. Like, you had to be here to see how crazy it was. I mean, thank God, like, nothing really happened in my area. Our power didn't go out. We didn't get a flood or anything, but everybody that lives along the water, I really, really feel for, because like I said, I have a friend who, she said that her whole apartment got flooded. She lived on the first floor and she lived in Sheepshead Bay, and her whole apartment got flooded. And I'm like, oh my God, all I could do is like pray. But I'm still doing my best to, like, help out those who need. I'm still donating stuff. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna donate stuff because I know people need it. And we just had a blizzard on Friday, so I'm pretty sure them people who lost everything in this hurricane are even feeling like the effects. Because right after the hurricane, we had the nor'easter, and then for a little while, nothing really happened. So it's like now we've been getting snow like out of nowhere, but it's been like a little, like, little flurries. Like the snow didn't really stick, but this past weekend we had a blizzard, like 14 inches of snow. And I know, like I said, everybody who is affected by Sandy is feeling still feeling the effects of Sandy on top of this blizzard. So I'm not gonna stop donating. I'm not gonna stop helping these people because people really need help with, this hurricane. So, like I said, I'm donating to whoever needs help, and you should do the same too. So, I'll put the information of where you could donate in the description below. Make sure you do so. So, next week, we'll see the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy on my vibes, but I'll be tuned in, even though it'll be a sentimental episode. So, thanks for watching. See you next time in the next vlog that I do. Bye.